Nicholas, I love that example that you just gave. And what I noted was that you blended a range of skills from technical skills to 21st century human skills, soft skills, call them what you will. And that's what each of us have and need to have, to fulfill job responsibilities. I'm curious around your clients today. Do they tend to focus on soft skills, domain-specific skills, a blend of the two? And our organizations, our institutions ready? This is a multi-part question for you, but I'm really excited. Do you think the institutions are ready to certify on 21st century skills as well as domain-specific skills?
Look, it's really interesting, and I have to say that it's different client by client and sector by sector. So what I mean by that is we work with some schools, K to 12, public, private, and independent. And even within them, there's a mix. So some focus purely on extracurricular activities, some focus purely on, the hard results, as it were, so aligned to the curriculum, the academic results. Others do a hybrid. In vocational, we've got some fantastic clients that do completely short courses that are largely based towards soft skills and things like that. Do a very large body of work with Box Hill, and they're absolutely fantastic. And some private providers, GenU, for instance, is doing some incredible work across that micro-credential space. And then we've got other organizations that we work with that sort of look at it purely from a skill set perspective or a fully accredited perspective. We've got some RTOs that, for instance, will digitally credential their work experience components and the elements that they need to do for some of those qualifications that require minimum hours to be spent in the workforce. And then when we look outside of that, so professional development and industry associations, we do significant bodies of work with those organizations. We have some that digitally certify all of their membership base. So for instance, if they're an accountant and they're a chartered member, for instance, they have a 364-day credential that says they're an active member of this organization. They've had to do all of these things in order to be a chartered member. We then have others that are sort of like, they volunteer time, they do this, they mentor others, and there's a credential for all of those soft skills. So it really is quite different and across the entire spectrum. We're starting to see large industry sectors looking at this to help with staff mobility, such as in the aged care space, for instance, looking at, yes, the technical skills that a staff member has, but also some of the other qualities that they're looking for in terms of an effective communicator, an effective leader. And so internally, what that organization is starting to do is understand what the emerging leadership team looks like. And if they need a staff member to transition from one area to another area, what mobility they actually have within their own workforce. So I know that hasn't really answered concretely your question, but we're starting to see the use cases start to really play out across different industry sectors and across different needs.
No, I think just hearing that range of responses and ultimately from this, I'm sure you and the team at Learning Vault have developed best practices and are able to guide clients whichever direction they want to take and give them that much more holistic view of this is where ultimately perhaps you should be heading rather than focusing just on this one narrow area.
Yeah, absolutely. To the point where the team is actually broken down a little bit further into sort of like education and then supportive external education. So industry groups, corporate groups, things like that, where the nuances are not the same as they are in the education sort of field, but can certainly look to understand what outcomes are you wanting to achieve? What data is meaningful you to actually have within a credential? And what problem are you trying to solve by using this? Not just sort of like, here it is, turn it on. There's a lot of that consultation piece, especially because it's so new as well, being able to actually get the changes that are required from an industry to actually make that change relevant and meaningful for them.